The Life Coaching Toolbox Podcast is brought to you by Joeel and Natalie Rivera of Transformation Academy. In this episode, Natalie talks about the roles you play on the stage of life. This episode is one of 14 episodes in a series that walks you through the complete Life Purpose Quest virtual workshop.
A role is a set of behaviors that you act out during certain situations. Imagine your life unfolds on a theater stage as if it's a play and you're acting out a character or role. Your character may be the role of a parent, a child, a friend, a spouse, an employee, a manager, a teacher, banker, or lawyer, or all of the above. Your character may play other roles that are more like parts of your identity or lifestyle, such as being a helper or a leader, or maybe even a hero or a villain. The roles you play are not who you are. They're simply an aspect of what you do in your life, acted out according to a script that you follow based on how you've been conditioned to believe that that role is supposed to be played. You've probably heard the term role model, and these role models are the people from which you learn how these roles are supposed to be played. These roles we play and our beliefs about how they're supposed to be acted out can have a dramatic impact on our lives, as you can imagine. So, for example, couples who live together for 10 years when they're not married and then decide to get married often find that the relationship changes once they're officially married. The same things can happen when a couple has a child. And so you might be wondering, well, after so long, why would it change? Well, it's because we each have a definition for the role of a boyfriend or girlfriend versus a husband and wife or parents. Each of these roles carries with it in our mind expectations of how someone playing the role is supposed to be. And we then apply those expectations to ourselves and to our partners. Even after a long time, if we change the definition of our role, the relationship will change. And so even if people have been together for a really long time and it was working great, once they are in this new role of husband and wife, without realizing it, their expectations shift because of the beliefs they hold about what marriage is that they didn't have to contend with before. Then, when the two people have incompatible definitions of their roles in this new role, series of problems can pop up that didn't exist before. In fact, a famous researcher did a study on roles called the Zimbardo prison experiment. And in this experiment, he took college students and put them in a makeshift prison at the college. And he randomly assigned roles to each student as either a guard or a prisoner. And the experiment was supposed to last for 2 weeks, but it only ended up lasting for 5 days. And this is because each participant quickly, fully embodied the role that they were given, and they completely forgot that they were part of an experiment. You see, what happened was that the guards started treating these other students, who were the prisoners, as actual prisoners, and they even became abusive. What he was able to demonstrate through the study was that people quickly change to fit a role that they believe is their role to play. And that's why it's terrible when people give a child an identity such as "you're a bad kid," because they're being told that it's their role and identity to be bad, and then of course they fulfill it. So in your life, whether you realize it or not, you're driven by your roles that you have defined, and unless you become aware of them, you're likely to continue to act them out, even if they don't serve you. So, for example, we've worked with people that have developed a role of being the victim. So they always find ways and experiences that are going to reinforce that belief. We have people that have taken on the role of being everyone's savior. So they're constantly ending up surrounding themselves with people that need to be rescued. Understanding your role is crucial because it gives you a choice to decide if the role that you're playing is one that truly benefits you. And once you identify what roles you play and how you play them, and where you learned to play the role, you can then re-script your own roles. You can choose to change the roles that you play, as well as how you act out each of these roles, in order to live more authentically as your true self and more in alignment with your purpose. So, the question is, what roles or characters do you play on the stage of your life? So this could be in your family relationships, in your community, in your career. And for each character role, how do you play the role? What are the rules that you operate by? So for instance, if you're a father, how is a father supposed to be? What identity or lifestyle roles do you have? So for instance, this could be being a helper, or a leader, or a hero, or a villain, or a victim, or a savior, or any other traits that you identify with. It could even be sexual orientation, lifestyle characteristics, religion, culture. So you want to brainstorm all of these different labels you put on yourself because each one of them is a role. And then for each role, ask yourself, where did you learn to play this role? Who were your role models? And this can be parents, relatives, teachers, community members, even characters on TV programs that you watched. Are you playing any roles that you don't want to be playing? Or does the way that you're playing them just feel like it's not really you? How would these roles need to change for you in order to feel like you're living in alignment with your true self? And do you have any roles in your life that you're playing now that you need to eliminate? Can you change how you act them out? And who, if anyone, would be affected by you choosing to change any of your roles? What benefit do you get from maintaining them? What benefit would you get from removing them or changing them? And who would you be if the roles that you don't want to be playing just disappeared tomorrow? Who would your character be if you were the real you, the authentic you, not just playing a role? And so all of these questions are things we're going to address in the activity. So now's the time to sit down with all of these questions and reflect on your roles, what roles you play, where they came from, how you play them, and what changes you would need to make in order to be living your life not as a set of roles that you're playing, but as you.
Visit transformationacademy.com/toolbox to download free life coaching worksheets that go with the activities discussed in this podcast, plus other resources for creating a thriving life coaching business.